What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Y'all hold tight for me. Let's see if I can get everything going here. Come on in the room. I'm going to be setting up a brand new sublimation setup. So y'all know I haven't done beginner content in quite some time since I was barefoot in the kitchen showing y'all how to sublimate right from home. So I'm excited to be able to show you this one and tell you why I like these printers. So let me kind of scroll on over here and show you. And I'll angle this down a little bit. Let me know if y'all can see. So this printer right here is the Super Tank C8000. It is identical in function to the 16650, which y'all know those are my babies. Those are my twins at the shop. And those are the ones that I take with me on the road. So this is the exact same printer. What it is, the Super Tank. So if you can't see right here, I'll lean that up. The ST-C8000. The only difference is this one comes with 4 sets of pigment ink when you purchase it. The 16650 only comes with 1 set of Eco Tank. It doesn't even matter because we're going to fill this today with sublimation ink, okay? So we're going to turn this into a sublimation printer with some magical ink. Y'all see these true colors shining through. We're going to set it up, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you all how easy it is to take any Epson printer pretty much. Now, I tell you, I do have preferences for printers because y'all know I'm a nerd, proudly. So I'm going to tell y'all the real when it comes to this technical stuff. All Epson printers are not the same. They will all convert to sublimation printers. However, printers that are designed with pigment ink and dye ink are different. This is a pigment ink printer. The reason why I know when I bought this printer, the ink, the yellow looks like this, like mustard, okay? If you bought your ink and when you see it, it is like a deep brownish color and it's translucent, that is dye ink, not pigment ink. Although this is sublimation dye process, it is pigment ink, okay? I have to get y'all right with that because people will be out here telling y'all to sublimate in these 15,000s. It's a lot of people telling y'all that, and then they won't tell you nothing when your colors don't match up. Okay, so that's why you get those orange reds or those kind of blurples. Y'all know the blurples I'm talking about, the blue purples. So I just want y'all to be aware. All right. We'll get set up here in just a moment. Let me check the chat and see, can y'all hear? Oh, yes, y'all can hear me. What's up, Zena? Hey, my love. I'm doing so amazing. Y'all, while I'm waiting on this to set up real quick, I ain't going to do it yet. If y'all stick around, I'm going to show y'all the setup we just did. Y'all remember class number 292? Okay, hold on. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek so y'all stick around. Hold on. But I ain't going to tell you. I'm not going to show you everything just yet. That's my friend. Hey, another creative. Let's do... All right, so actually Jakeem is learning sublimation setup for the first time here. So y'all get to be in on my training session. Y'all know how much I charge to sit one-on-one with folks? Listen, y'all get to be in on this, man. All right, so this is, remember the accordion wall? We did template number 290. This is that. Let me move this table out of the way. Well, no, I'm not gonna move it yet. I have you help me move that in a second. I'm just gonna show them real quick. Y'all see these beautiful flowers that Chris did? So remember I told y'all I have a florist, fellow creative friend who is going to come in and teach y'all how to do this kind of stuff. Those are gorgeous. Go ahead and drop a 100 in the chat if y'all ready to learn some floral game. I'm not gonna teach it to you. Listen, I'm gonna stick to what my ministry is, okay? But I also want to show y'all. I'm rolling around here, got stuck. Y'all see the cubes? Remember I told y'all we're going to do the cubes next week since y'all gave me this week off for Thanksgiving. Thank y'all. I love y'all. So because y'all gave me some time off, I'm going to be able to take some more templates for you all. But those are the cubes. 2 foot tall. Zoom over here. That's my brother. That's Blake Ray. All right, so this is the whole setup we did with template number 270. Y'all, that one 270 was almost a year ago. You see how these templates are still useful? That's the one that looks like the playing card. This was 292. We just did this one, the locker room. Y'all love that one. So I'm showing you in action, okay? So everything y'all doing AI in action and Photoshop in action. Now this is events in action, okay? I'm gonna start bringing this to y'all. Here, this is a corrugated board. I will turn that into a template for y'all too. And this is a floor wrap. Oh, Lord. Did you see that? It's a floor wrap. You can actually do this as vinyl that adheres to the floor, but this is actually just a banner. It's much less expensive and it does not cause damage to the floor. All right, so it is a tripping hazard. You have to use carpet tape, which is double-sided tape. So it does put a little adhesion onto the floor, but it's not like a permanent adhesion, like a permanent vinyl. Now there are floor stickers, and that requires a different type of vinyl that is not permanent, and it is repositionable. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's go back to the sublimation. I just want to give y'all this. So you can ask me what type of heat press to get, right? So I would start off, y'all know I have several, but I would start off with something. I have a fancier studio, believe it or not. Yes, I have plenty. I have printers galore. I got automatic presses that pop up. I have big 40-inch by 30-inch, and I also have a 44-inch by 60-inch heat press. But if I were starting out, I would start out with a 16 by 20 heat press, and Fancier Studios has one for $300. So there's no excuse not to get started in this game. Now this printer, and I'll be coming and checking on y'all's chat too. So if y'all have questions, please ask them, because this will fuel a tutorial video, okay? All right. So this particular printer is about $1,200. All right, let me see. Oh, I'm live on Instagram too. Good job. Close out of that. All right. So this particular printer is about $1,200. You don't need the ink that comes with it. I would save it though, because if I ever got a second printer, I would turn my second printer into a pigment printer. So then that pigment printer would be for my party favors, menus, if I'm doing funeral programs. Let me tell you why I would pay $1,200 for this printer. It prints a 13 by 19 page in literally 30 seconds. Full color, 30 seconds. I can show you better than I can tell you. Let me go ahead and get this thing set up. All right, I think my brother removed all of the tape. So when you get it, it'll have like some blue tape that's all over the place. Just check for that blue tape. I don't see any right now, but I'm going to go ahead and open this top here. And then if y'all need to be able to see, I'll bring this in a little bit better. Y'all let me know if y'all can't see now. I know y'all will tell me. And if you can't hear me, let me know too. And y'all go ahead and share this video. Let some folks know. I know everybody is preparing for Thanksgiving, and I told y'all I was not going to go live this week, but I found a reason to come see y'all anyway. All right, so I'm going to open it up. It has like a little hand placement. Angle that down a little bit better, because y'all don't need to see me. Y'all need to see this printer. There we go. All right. Just there's some grooves right here. I'm gonna take my hand underneath here, and let me move my ink. Y'all, I was trying to do my little product placement. All right, so we're gonna open it up here. Now there's a scanner part. If you open it and you see a scanner, close it. There's some handles underneath that. Lifts the whole back part up. Let me just adjust this printer over just a little bit so it can open up fully. There we go. Okay. This is your transport mode. If you're ever transporting this printer, you're supposed to put it in transport mode. Okay. But when you're getting ready to use it, make sure that It is off of transport mode. That little blue thing right there keeps you from having a lot of vibration. It locks it in place, so when you're transporting it, it does not mess with your print heads. All right, so you're out of transport mode. That's one thing I want to check for. Make sure there's no blue tape. Sometimes it'll have blue tape on stuff to keep it from moving around. As a factory fresh printer, I don't see any tape. Also, go ahead and open up your trays. Make sure there's no blue tape anywhere here. Open up the tray, show y'all that. So no blue tape here. Now, beautiful thing about this tray, I told y'all, I'm gonna show y'all. So this can go to a 13 by 19 size. Boom, just like that. And then of course you can move the paper here and you can do 11 by 17 paper. You do 13 by 19, 8.5 by 11, 8 by 14, etc. All these different sizes here. I particularly stick with two main sizes. I do 8.5 by 14, which I always put in my top tray. And then in my bottom tray, I put 13 by 19. So when I do a job, 8.5 by 14, I do my license plates, phone cases, all of that stuff, smaller paper. My 13 by 19, I'm busting out everything else. And sometimes I only travel with 13 by 19. All right, so that's how you extend the paper tray. Go ahead and put that in just so I can show you. And then this part is going to be when you extend it out with how you use it. So before I do anything else, before I show you how to load the ink, because what'll happen, y'all load the ink and you think it's time to go. So I want to show you some features and things first. Let me also show you, let's see if I can get you down here. This right here is your ink levels. Okay, it's white right now. There's no ink in it. We're going to put ink in just a second. That's the easiest thing to do, y'all. Y'all think, oh, I got to convert a printer. No, you don't. You got to pour some ink in it. And you don't even pour the ink. It's a simple process to where you just pop the top here. Pop one of those off. You're just going to drop your bottles in there. And it's going to gunk, gunk, gunk and feed itself. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you don't turn this printer on. You want to go ahead and set up the ink only. And this says use pigment ink only. Why? Because Epson has dye ink and pigment ink. Our sublimation ink is pigment ink. Okay. So when y'all go get those 15,000 that everybody's telling y'all to turn into sublimation printers, that is a dye-based printer. It tries its best to convert those colors, but a dye ink can't do what a pigment ink does. That's why pigment printers are more expensive sometimes, and that's why they give a higher result. And that's also why most times you can't use a pigment printer to print party favors and stuff, because it does not like glossy photo paper. Glossy photo papers use dye ink, okay? So there are different printers for different purposes. I can teach you how you can use this type of printer that uses pigment ink for party favors, but you have to use very special paper that can get a little more expensive than using a dye printer. So if I had to have a setup that did everything, I would have a dye printer to do my party favors, invitations, menus, even if you're doing like obituaries and that sort of thing. You want to have those in a dye printer, just so that you can cover all paper. Then I would have sublimation be something like this. I invest in a $1,200 printer because I wanted to print fast, I wanted to print good, and I wanted to be reliable. This is a workhorse. Y'all hear me? Okay. Any questions y'all have, just put them in the chat, and then when I look down, I will check them out, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on setting this up. I like to start from the left to the right with doing my ink and only pull back one flap at a time. Let me get y'all a little bit more underneath here and adjust this camera so you can see. All right, so the first one is my black, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my ink here, get it ready. Now, of course, you can use some gloves and all of that good stuff, but y'all remember back in the day, we used to have to convert cartridges. That stuff would get so messy. All right, I'm about to show you how to do this. I'm not even gonna put on no gloves. Now, what I would suggest is that you have a knife, an X-Acto knife, something like that. I have light. Or if Nate has a little utility knife, I'm gonna need to cut this top open. Just something to cut it open. Now you can peel it off too. The reason why I cut it is because I just don't like the mess of peeling these off by finger. So if you are going to peel these off by finger, just make sure you have some gloves on. I'm going to show y'all how I do it without the gloves. And I'm going to use the other side of my bag because this one, I don't care if I did get a little ink on. Thank you so much. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to put it down, y'all. Pierce that and go along the edge rather than trying to peel it up. Now this is because this is sublimation ink and I have this manufactured specifically for you all. This is the True Colors brand of ink, Innate Academy exclusive. All right, and then we have some paper towels. Can you grab me some paper towels? I appreciate it. So I'm going to put some paper towels down just in case a little ink does happen to splash. So now I'm just going to take the top and put it back on. And I'll do that for all of the inks. Now, what I should have done in order, just because a little bit of ink can potentially mix and it's no problem. Like literally there's barely any ink on this blade. But if you were doing this the most efficient and effective way, I would start with the lightest color, which is yellow. Then I would do magenta. Then I would do cyan. Then I would do black. Because that's the way that you would be able to preserve your best in ink transfer. So for instance, it's going to have a little bit of black just right here on the top here. So I'm just going to go ahead and that out. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm just going to put my blade down on that. And yellow was first, so if I go lighter to darker colors so that I have minimal ink transfer, then I'm going to go magenta next. And peel that top there. I say you can peel the top off if you want to, but I'm going to choose not to make a mess if I don't have to. Okay. Magenta. Put your top back on. Make sure you put the top on good, because all you're going to do after you put the top on good, you are going to unscrew it and expose this little built-in nozzle here. And it has a key so that it only goes, that it goes exactly where it needs to inside of the ink nozzle without making any mess. Okay. So I am putting enough force on it. I'm closing it all the way up, and then I'm opening the top two pieces together as one piece. Okay. And if you want to, just go ahead and wipe off that little blade. Continue on. This is the last one I have to open up, y'all. This is probably the hardest thing you're going to have to do today. All right. Let's open that up. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to go in order here. So I'll show you what the order looks like because those are kind of blocking you. So we have black first. Then it has magenta. Then it has yellow. And then it has the cyan. Okay, so that's the order we're going to go in. I'm going to close off all the ones so I don't get confused and put the wrong ink in the wrong one. If you do that, you're going to have trouble. You hear me? Okay, so now we're on black. I'm going to take off the top. So see how it's moving together because of how I just did it? So I'm going to put a little pressure on it and only unscrew the top. Well, maybe I'm not because this is on YouTube Live. Hold on. I tightened it a little too tight. Let me tighten it and then untighten it. Little buddy, stop showing out for company. Hey, Blake. Or, Jakeem, you might be able to help me. I don't have enough grip strength to separate that bottom from the top. See how the other ones do it. It's just showing out. And I might have to tighten. I think I tightened it maybe too much. There's a little groove at the bottom you're supposed to be able to hold and then undo it. All right. I got it. I think what happens is I have to hold it down at the bottom, but this one, my grip strength. Hit it. Hit it. I need to work out some more, y'all. This thing is defeating me. And here, this is what I'll do. Let me take a little bit of this napkin. Give me a little more grip strength at the bottom here. Because what it is, my finger is against this, but I don't have enough strength to continue turning it. Well, that's all I had to do was push it up against my belly. Then it let go. All right, so tell Blake, give me that other one because I got it. I just had to put it against my belly to kind of give it a little leverage. And pop right off. So I'm going to go ahead and just take these off. There we go. And while it's doing that, I know I said go in order, but since he's probably still trying to open my black, I'm going to go ahead and do magenta. So I'm going to pop that open. And y'all, I'm doing this with the camera in my way, so y'all forgive me. I want to give y'all the better view than me, so literally I have a camera in my face. So I'm going to take the bottle, turn it upside down. It's not spilling. You pop it into place. And it'll start going gunk, 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 gunk. And I like to do this before, because some printers, you fill up the ink first and then initialize, like go ahead and turn on the printer and do the steps. Other newer printers, like this one, I probably could turn on the printer first and it would tell me to load the ink. But because I don't know which printer you're going to be setting up, the safest way to do it is just go ahead and put the ink in first and then turn on the printer. Because some printers, if you turn it on, it'll immediately think it's supposed to be ink in there, and it'll start trying to what they call initialize or charge the print heads, which means it's going to be pulling air into your line. Okay, so it's just sitting there drinking up that stuff. When it has accepted all that it can accept. So if you're first doing this setup, it probably will take about the whole bottle, right? Once you are refilling, there may be a little bit of ink left because you're never going to let it ever, ever, ever run all the way out. You never let it go below that bottom notch there. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, so magenta is done. When it stops drinking, you just pull it out. And you can hear it. Like I said, it'll go gunk, 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 gunk. That's what it sounds like. I put the top back on. There's a little bit of ink in here. So I saved this because whenever it requires some more ink, I'm going to use that to top it off. And of course, I may need to use some additional ink because it's only a little bit left in here. Okay, so I'm going to close this one magenta. Then I'm going to open the next one and look for the color. This is yellow next. Same thing here. Take my bottle, turn it upside down. See, it's not spilling. I don't squeeze it. Do not squeeze it. If you squeeze it, you will force air into your system. You will ruin it. So just pop it on top and let it gunk, gunk, gunk all the way down. Y'all have any questions while this is going? Because this is, like I said, this is about the hardest thing you're going to have to do is actually just set it on up like this. Uh-oh, we're having some buffering issues, y'all. All right, are y'all back? Let me know if y'all can hear me. The internet isn't strong over here where I am, so if I have to record this later, I may do another recorded video later. I just wanted y'all to see me while I was doing this live because, you know, it's very rare that I'm setting up the newbie stuff. What's up, Tampa, the crafty queen? TMP Customs. I see it. Now, looks like yellow. Yellow is complete. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Gently, I'm not going to push on it. You push on it, it will force the ink out. Close that back up. Now we're on to cyan. Same thing here. Turn it upside down. Go ahead and let it do its thing. Now, I want to show you what happens if, for instance, let's just say something happened to this top. What you could do, this is black anyway. That's why I told you if you do your ink in order of lighter to darker also, same principle applies. I'm going to use the yellow cap and use it on my black ink. And I'm just going to take a napkin, clean that out, and then go rinse it out and dry it out. Actually, I'm not, because this is black. Y'all, black has all the colors in it. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's how they make black. That little tiny bit of yellow that's at the very tip is not going to matter to black. So I'm going to use that top there just because it's easy for me to pull off. That other one, for some reason, that must have been like a manufacturer defect. That top was hard to pull off. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and as soon as this, I can only do one at a time. So as soon as that cyan is done, I can pull it out. Put my top on it for later use. And then let's make black happen. So the way that I train myself is I only open up the one that I'm going to fill up so I don't get confused. Now black is here. And take upside down. Put it there. And these nozzles are not, they're universal, so they can go in any color. So when you buy Epson ink, the nozzle that it has will only work for black. The yellow nozzle will only work for yellow. And that is a safety protocol. But for this, if you do the system I'm telling you about, it's better to have a universal a nozzle there, because I was able actually to use that yellow nozzle because I could not open the black nozzle. All right. You set up your screen print room. Let's go. I saw you too. I saw you got your actual press. Listen. So when I teach y'all screen print, I teach you the method that I do right now is just to order screen prints, right? But I used to have a 6-head, 6-station press, y'all. So you can print up to 6 colors at a time. Really 5 colors with a base white if you're doing color shirts and not white shirts. So that was how I started screen printing. Then it just was so messy. I had to burn screens, clean screens, reclaim screens, and then it just became too cumbersome for me to do. So what I did was I went and started getting the Plastisol prints. And those Plastisol prints are literally, I used to actually make Plastisol prints before I learned what they even were. So black is definitely gone. Now I can't use that nozzle for the yellow. I wouldn't even use it even if I washed it out because that silicone is going to hold a little bit there. So I'm just going to take the top and just put this on just to preserve that. But I would not squeeze ink through there. I have some other backup sets of ink that I do with that. All right, so now black is not completely filled, but it is filled to the 3rd mark. I would put some more, just a little bit more of black just to top that off. But this is not going to hurt our setup. I'm just not going to open another black right now. All right, so here, let me take y'all down a little bit. Let me take you down. I'm gonna, there, y'all might be able to see this a little bit better if I make this lower. Oh, is this one? This one's not gonna go lower. Let me go to the next notch. Y'all, I'm over here with my little fancy schmancy. It's not really that fancy, y'all. I got it from Amazon. But I have my little tripod just for y'all, and I put it on wheels so y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, that should be low enough. And Let's see, I could have just taken this camera off of here, but I don't know how. All right, so you see these levels? Never, ever, ever let it go. Don't, when you see it get to this first notch, go ahead and refill your ink. Y'all hear me? Because the computer thinks it knows when you need new ink, and I don't like trusting that. If you get to that notch, go ahead and refill. All you do to refill is pop that open. Like if I wanted to refill black right now, I would just put more ink in there. It's not, I don't even have to do anything on the, with the electricity on or anything. Okay, that's it. Just keep an eye on this. Never, ever, ever let it go below this. So I'm going to tell you what happens when you do. So since I told you not to do it, I'm going to tell you why. I like to tell y'all the why while I'm showing you the how. If you let it go below this line and it just happens to potentially run out, you're going to get air in your lines. Once you have air in your lines, you're not going to get consistent prints. You're going to have lines in your prints, or even worse, nothing will come out ever because it will dry out your print head. Okay, so just don't let that happen. All right, let's see what's next. Hopefully you all can see this here. I'm going to go ahead and now turn on the power. I think I have it plugged in. And this, like I said, is a newer printer, so it probably will tell you the steps before it even tries to initialize, but I just want to make sure. And let's see, first thing it's doing is it's asking, let me put this top down here. All right, it's asking language. I'm going to put English. I'm not going to, let's see, winter. We are in winter, savings time. I like to do month, day, year. So we'll put this in. What is today's date? It's 11/7. What's today's date?
26.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We had the event yesterday. 26. And this will be 2024. I just started putting 2024 on stuff. It's about to be 2025. All right. I'm going to put 12-hour format. And then what time is it, King?
12:11.
12:11. I'm supposed to be on the road. I'm showing y'all this stuff. 12:11. Hit OK. All right. So what it's doing right now is preparing, initializing. So this is why, personally, I like to go ahead and put the ink in first because I don't know what it's doing. Some printers will start initializing, trying to suck up ink. Others are, it's just testing and making sure that that the printer's actually like has the proper firmware and that sort of thing. So I don't know what it's doing. So that's why I like to put my ink in before I even turn the printer on. Another thing is you can do is you can not plug it in until you put the ink in. That's the other safeguard. All right, so just letting that go. And while that's initializing, if you all have any questions, let me know. That might take a little minute. And I'll basically this is done live, so y'all will see real time how long it takes to set that up. And then what I'll do is take you over to Substrates, and we'll talk about some substrates in the meantime. All right. I'm going to go ahead and unplug y'all for a moment. Hopefully we stay connected. I'll set this up and get back to it. All right, let's talk about some substrates. So sublimation is a dye process. Even though I told you I was pigment ink, I know that's a little confusing, but it's a dye process. So I want to talk about a few things. And let me make sure there's no ink on my hands. This is why sometimes you wear gloves when you mess with ink. I've done it enough to where most times I can do it without messing up. This is a stadium cushion. And I'm showing you some substrates, but all of these are 100% polyester, okay? Even this tumbler, I know you think polyester is fabric, but there's a polyester coating on the white, on the outside of the white of this particular product. So anything that you see that's white, is not just that it has to be white to sublimate. It has to also be polyester or have a polyester coating. All right, this right here is a shirt that is, if you look at the brand name, or look for the tag. This one is 60% cotton, 40% polyester. That means it's less polyester than it is cotton. It's going to appear with only about 40% opacity. So if you want to know what that looks like, take it into Photoshop or Canva, take that image, put white behind it, put your image in front, put white behind it, and then take the opacity of the image in the front, take the opacity down to 40%, and then you'll see what your image will look like sublimated. It won't be bold colors. It'll be like washed out colors. That's how I always show people, like, hey, if you send me a 60% polyester product, this is what it's going to look like. All right, these are little towels here, little hand towels. Then you have the longer towels. We have these for like sports, spirit towel size, hand towel size. We have, here, let me ink that down. Actually, let me bring y'all back up again. I did the bottom one on this one. I think I got y'all back up. All right. The printer over there doing anything? It's still processing. Okay, so let's see what it's talking about over there. We might be ready. Let's see. See the start here bundled with the printer or on the website to complete initialization. I don't even have the box with me right now, so I'm just going to hit OK. So it's giving me some information here. You may not be able to read it. It says, when filling the ink, make sure not to squeeze the ink bottle. Ink may splash. Also, make sure to match the color of the ink bottle and the ink tank. We already did that, and I already explained that, just making sure. Make sure the transportation lock is in the print position. So let's check that. And each ink tank is filled, and then press OK for at least 5 seconds. So I'm going to open this up. Remember, I'm going to hold. So opening the scanner part. That's not going to do it. Close it. Go below that. Open with the handle. There's like little finger station right there. Okay. And as you can see how the thing is moving there. It's telling you to make sure that it is not in transportation mode. If I had this thing in transportation mode, it will be down and it would not be able to move to the left like that. Okay. So it is out of transportation mode. All right. So I'm going to close this up. And then it says, after you make sure that that lock is off of transportation mode, it says to hold down OK for at least 5 seconds. So on the screen, I'm touching OK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I definitely hit OK for more than 5 seconds. 1, 100. 2, 100. 3, 100. 4, 100. 5, 100. All right, printer showing out on me. Okay, that was longer than 5 seconds, much longer than 5 seconds, but it worked. Now it's going to take you through the steps. Make sure to fill the ink tank with black and then press proceed. So like I said, some newer printers will tell you the steps as you go. This is a newer printer. It will tell you the steps. So we already did this. So I'm going to hit proceed because we already did that. Now it's telling you yellow. Then it's telling you cyan. Proceed. Okay. Then I'm going to hit start to charge the ink. Now charging the ink can take some time. So I'm going to hit start. And it says, please wait. Do not turn the power off until initialization is complete. This takes about 9 minutes. Okay. So now that that's taken about 9 minutes, we're going to go ahead and set up our heat press. I could talk to y'all about the heat press. I got kicked out of the studio on my computer with my little lagging internet over here. Hey, Ernique. Hey, my love. What am I doing? I'm setting up a brand new sublimation setup today. This is an Epson ST-C8000, which is identical to the Epson 16650. Y'all know those are my babies. They print really fast. I transport them. Every time I do a trade show or anything, I bring 2 printers at a time. And these are my boo things. All right, so I'm setting up one for a vendor in Atlanta. So then this way, y'all will be able to come right here to Atlanta and get your sublimation stuff. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and wait for this. We're going to go over here back to these substrates, and then I'll talk to y'all about a heat press. You all can even tell me what type of heat press you have. And if you have any issues with them, this is great information, not just for me, but also for your fellow creatives. All right, so how much battery power do I have? Let me check it out. Oh, we're good. We're good. All right, so I'm going to bring you back over here to substrates. Y'all just follow me, follow me. All right, and we were talking about the towel. So next is, I have this Christmas stocking I want to try out. This is just a polyester fabric. It looks like a jersey knit is the type of fabric that is. So some of you may have seen them with the micro fleece. It looks a little fuzzy. This is just a jersey knit. So it literally just looks like the same fabric you might have for like a thicker football jersey or something. That's what it's made out of. This is a sock. 100% polyester. Well, actually, this has a little bit of spandex in it. I changed it because I wanted the formula to be a little stretchier. So this is I think 98 polyester, 2% spandex. And then we have this pillowcase here. And this is a 18 by 18 pillowcase. Little tip and trick, get you 20 by 20 inserts if you want them to look really full. Get a 20 by 20 insert, and then they will have your pillows popping. License plate. It has a polyester coating. Yes, it's silver, it's metallic. It has a polyester coating. Same with the white ones back there. Let me angle y'all a little bit where you can see. Name badges. I sell these for $20 at trade shows. I print them live on demand. And then I also collect leads because they have to give me their text message and email information. And then I have that for marketing for the future. These are foldable fans. Y'all probably seen these where they fold up and they go inside that pouch. They also could be used as frisbees. Great for graduation, outdoor events. Let's say you're having like a funeral service and everybody hot. You got these. And they're also memorial mementos as well. Let's see. This is a napkin. I'm excited about prototyping these. I just got these napkins off of Amazon. And this will be great for your events. And if you're doing like really nice black tie type of affairs and they require you to have a fabric napkin, that's going to be a really big plus there. All right, so next we're going to talk about heat presses while we're initializing. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit. How large can it print on that printer? Tampa, that is a 13 by 19 is the biggest sheet size it can do. But baby, I put this roll paper in here. Y'all know how I taught y'all how to do the graduation stoles with one piece of paper, one print. This roll paper. Do a 13, so it's 13 inches wide. I would do 37 inches long. And I do my graduation stoles without a large format printer. Also, tumblers. Y'all know what these tumblers do. You can do those with the same paper. You just can't do it with the flat heat press. You have to do an oven or a tumbler press. And I've done some with the oven. I have a tumbler press too, but I was not impressed with it. So I started doing the oven method instead. Plus the oven method, you can put more than one tumbler in at a time. Yep, that roll paper is a lifesaver. All right, y'all have any other questions? Now, this is not my heat press. This is the heat press that was already here. And I'm just going to test it out. So how I suggest y'all test it out is to do 390 degrees at 50 seconds. Okay. Everybody says do sublimation at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. That's the standard. But if you do 390 and then you do 50 seconds, you can see if that's sufficient. Okay. If it's sufficient, why heat your product up more? Why do longer seconds? Because if I have 100 shirts to do, those 10 seconds each time is going to save me. Okay. Also, you can always increase the temperature and time or decrease the temperature and time because you need to know for your press what matters. Y'all know how you can cook at a certain temperature in Florida, but it's a different temperature and time if you're all the way in the mountains somewhere. Same thing applies with your heat press. Is heat. You're dealing with different substrates, different type of devices. Some are accurate, some are not. So just do your testing. Yes, it's a little bit of a testing phase, but it's going to be worth it not to ruin material when you have a big job. Also, while this is initializing, let's see. I just got y'all standing in the heat press. Let me come up right here so at least y'all can talk to me. All All right, so another thing is when you are testing out your products and your substrates, you want to test different substrates. Let me give you all an example. I'm going to go grab a pillowcase that I did, and I'm going to tell you why the substrate is important too. I'll be right back, y'all. Just wait on me, buddy. All right. So these are they look like velvet. Uh-oh. Is something wet over here? Or is somebody, might be something wet in that chair, but something's wet. These pillowcases are wet. Somebody might have spilled a little drink on my stuff. So let me not put it in my main workspace area. So this is, can y'all see me? Because it's over here buffering. Sublimation on the pillowcase. The pillowcase naturally, I hope that's water. This is a little bit of a darker color than just white. So I think it's considered like a light, very, very light ivory color. But because of that, this image prints darker on this ivory color than it would on pure white. You don't see it to the naked eye, you can't tell. But when you compare it to something else that was a pure white, and then you have bluish whites, you have greenish whites, you have sometimes they're reddish whites that you have. Whatever color you start with that substrate, your colors may apply differently. So you need to know not only the time and temperature settings, you also may need to adjust color sometimes. So what I should have done was like decrease the saturation just a little bit, and then increase the brightness so that it made it a little bit lighter, so that it would apply almost identical as if this were a straight white product. All right, so that's something I wanted to tell y'all. We're almost done initializing, y'all. All right, so outside of that, just showing you some examples of things that are already printed. This is a sock here. It's on a form, but it will print full color. Yeah, I have a class. I might do another sub-intensive class. I do them in person. If y'all ready to do some more in-person classes, let me know. I might open that up again. I have an in-person class in Atlanta, 7th and 8th of December, and we're actually going to be doing the party stuff. So we're going to be doing the big backdrops, the cubes. We'll do an accordion wall, a floor wrap, some cutouts. So I want you all to let me know what things you're interested in learning that I know how to do, so we can do some in person. All right, so make sure that you go to the shop.innatecademy and sign up for that class. If you can be in Atlanta on December 7th and 8th, I'll show y'all the room as I'm packing up and give you an idea of what you all are going to make in real time, hands-on in this masterclass. All right. Yep, based on the elevation. Yep, that's what I was talking about earlier. All right, my love. So while that's initializing, I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm just going to open up one of my Automizers. I did an Automizer for this event, as a matter of fact. And I should be able to screen share. Let me see if I can screen share with y'all. Entire screen, screen one. Now let me know if you can still hear me. I'm screen sharing right now. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Automizer that I made for this event. I did it yesterday. Well, actually day before yesterday, and literally made all the party favors off of that Automizer. All right. So y'all know the engineer in me does not like to be inefficient. So what I did was created this Automizer so that y'all can design one time, one product. So I designed a chip bag. After I designed that chip bag, it propagated that design to 30 other products. So I made the chip bag, Hershey bar label. I made What else did I make? Well, I didn't make them. I made the design, and then a beautiful team, For You Creations. They came in and they physically made the party favors. So I got to do the digital stuff, which is the fun stuff for me. You see, it has a Christmas stocking here, some socks. So literally, I can take the same images that I showed you from the event that we did, and I can make. That's how the pillow was made. Y'all see the pillow there? All of that, all these 30 items were made off of this one Automizer. All right. And that was just the snapshot of it, or the PNG of it. Here's the actual Automizer. Now what I'm going to show you here is I already have my PNGs made, my printables. But these right here, if I want to, for instance, change the water bottle label or maybe the chip bag, let's go to the chip bag. Double click here. And let's say my image is, and it was like a little too big. I know I wanted everybody to see how it laid in signs. So I made it big, but let's say just a little too big. I can click on that element and then I can adjust it in size just a little bit here. Okay, and then place it back where I want it. Want it a little bit below the skyline there. Hit enter, lock in that transformation. When I close this out and hit yes to save, it's also going to save inside my Automizer. It's also going to save in my mockup. So you should see my mockup change. See how it changed? I can close out. And then it also changed my mega mockup. Okay? So this is how I made banners, backdrops, invitations, party favorite treats, bags, Christmas ornaments. I do have a Christmas ornament. I did want to try that out. So I'm just going to right now just make me a stage for printing, and I'm going to do a 13 by 19 inches. So 13 is the width, 19 is the height. And I'm going to choose my resolution at 150 because I don't need it 300. Most of your computers, when you start working in large files, they will start slowing down on you. So most of the time I design for myself in 300. But now I've been doing 150 since I've been teaching y'all, and it's been doing great. So anybody tells you have to do 300 probably doesn't have a newer printer process, or their graphics are not high quality to begin with. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on as like test, because we're going to do this as a test print. Hit create. And then I'm going to go to my Automizer whole PNG folder, and I should have some PNGs that are ready to print from my Automizer. All right, 291 Hotlanta. So see, this is what the Automizer is going to give you, all the individual PNG elements plus all the mock-ups. So I can put each of these products on my Shopify store right now. The blanket, the button, the chip bags, all of that stuff I can put on my website. Now I'm getting past the individual mock-ups, and I'm getting into my printable files. So if I want to do that ornament, that's a 3x3 ornament. I'll grab that. You can also do like the shirt design itself. I do have the Christmas stocking here. I don't want to test that out just right now. I'm going to do some hard product and a soft product. Let's do some socks. Socks are very popular, and it's the same process as doing shirts or anything else. So, oh, and I do have a shirt. I think I do. We'll see. So let's do one, two. Let's do, where is socks? Are going to be 8.5 by 19. So I'll print 2 of those. And then let's grab the 13 by 19 shirt front. Okay, that's the DTF version. That'll work. All right, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop those PNGs right onto my artboard. Y'all forgive my connection is slow here, so just bear with me. All right, so the socks, when I print socks out, see how my 13 by 19 page is? I go ahead and just put it in the center. So I'm going to do Control A and just snap it to the middle there because I could do my taco method with that. And I would print 2 of those. Are we done? It looks like the printer is done. Initializing. Let me take you back over here, y'all, since we're done with that. Go ahead and finish setting up the printer. And then I'll pause on this print part. We'll come back to the screen share in just a moment. All right. So we are selecting the paper size. So remember I told you for cassette 1, I like to do the 8.5 by 14. I don't even use 8.5 by 11 inch paper. I use 8.5 by 14, 13 by 19. So I would set this one up to be legal size, which is 8.5 by 14. Paper type, I just choose plain paper, y'all. You don't have to put special paper. Even though we're using special paper, you don't have to put that. Just keep it plain. Then I'll go back. Cassette 2 is going to be my super B size, which is 13 by 19. And let's see. This is in millimeters. Let's do inches. Oh, I know what this one is. This printer here is not going to be able to do 13 by 19 at the bottom. You have to do your 13 by 19 from, let me show you where, from the back. This is how I load mine anyway. I forgot the 16650 does 13 by 19 in the back. So this is also going to be the best way to do your roll media from the back. So there you go. So what I do for my 16650, I put regular paper at the bottom and I do 8.5 by 11. So if I ever need to run test prints, I run it on my regular paper. So this, see how that pops out? And it even pops out even further. Let me roll y'all up a little bit so y'all can see. Okay. So I pulled it out and there's another flap that holds the even longer paper. Okay, so that's how you're going to do your 13 by 19. And the paper just sits there, y'all. I don't like to leave too much paper in there at a time. But the paper sits there. I usually do no more than like 50 sheets at a time. But just start with about 20 just so you can get used to your printer, making sure you're putting the paper in the right way. You're not jamming anything up. And I'll go ahead and load up some paper, y'all. Almost there. Now, I haven't used this paper in quite some time, but this is the Text Print DT-XP Light. I'm going to test out some different papers for you all. I ordered some from HTV Runs. I ordered some from, what is the one y'all like to use all the time? A-Sub paper. And then I want to make sure that those papers work well for your intended substrates, and also that it has good ink release. Paper does matter. I know everybody thinks paper is paper. Paper matters. If paper didn't matter, you could just put regular printer paper in. And I've seen people sublimate regular printer paper. I hated it. I tried it just because it was viral and you all want to know what it looked like. I only got about 80% of my color transfer. And it also was not as crisp as I like it to be. Sublimation, whatever you see on your screen, you're going to get that identical result. If you have the right ink, the right paper, the right temperature, and the right pressure settings. Those are your variables. All right, so just get ready to load this paper up, y'all. There is a front and there is a back to sublimation paper. Speaking of back, let me back up a little bit so I can see what I'm talking about. This particular paper does have some instructions on different suggested temperatures and time for substrates. These are suggestions. Please test your stuff out. So for instance, this one says ceramic tiles do 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 to 10 minutes. Now we have a ceramic ornament, but we're not going to do 7 to 10 minutes. All right, and what I'm doing for today, I'm just going to go ahead and probably press these socks because I got to get out of here, y'all. So I'll come back again and do some more products, okay? All right, so I'm going to take just a few sheets. This is probably about 10 sheets here. Most times, the back of paper, you can tell because it'll have like a some type of logo or something. If not, then you'll have to know which side is your print side and make sure that your print side is faced up. Okay. So I'm going to grab some from below that. That's the back, that's the front. Now when we load it in, I got this on a pretty high table. So if you can't see where it's loading in, make sure that you position your printer so that you can see if it's loading properly. So faces up, put it down. And then I need to make sure, because I can't see back here, y'all. So I have to definitely make sure that my paper stopper is in the right location. I might even need to, hey Blake, can you see this right here? Let's see if I can come around to the other side. Because it's up on this high table. Oh, never mind. I'm walking to the other side and, okay, I can see now. I just couldn't see if my paper stopper was in the right place. So this one allows you to pull it in, this blue, to make it more narrow, like for an envelope, versus wider for your 13-inch. And I think we're good here. And make sure if you're using 13-inch by 19-inch paper, pull this all the way out, including that flap. All right, so I'm gonna load it in from where I just was, kind of behind it, so I can see that it's going in properly. All right, so I'm just guiding it in here. It's in there, perfect. And see how it's leaning up against the wall? You don't want it leaning like that. You want it to naturally rest on the actual. I'm gonna turn it kind of sideways so I can see what I'm talking about. You heard that kind of drop by itself? So y'all will be able to see less, but it's gonna be the proper, how the paper is supposed to be properly laid. See how it's dropping by itself? Now it's not leaning on the wall, it's not touching nothing. It has this natural angle it's supposed to be at. All right. Yes, I just converted this printer, Lisa. So you can go back and watch the replay. I'll leave it up for y'all. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the screen share because I need to print. And I think, I don't know if I've set one of these printers up on here before, so I may have to do the driver settings. All right. And if you need to find the driver for an Epson printer, I'm just going to type in Epson. This is the ST-C8000. Oh, this internet is acting funky. Hold on. No internet. Let me see if I have this printer. Oh, now it has internet. Okay. Lord of mercy. So see if you can find this printer for under $1,000, that is amazing because usually they are about $1,200. Right, but what I'm looking for is the printer driver. And you can actually type in that word. Just make sure you only download from Epson, y'all. Please don't download no viruses just because you're trying to get a printer driver. Epson has all the drivers that you need for any Epson printer. Even printers they don't make anymore. They stopped manufacturing it. You will be able to. I thought I was sharing my screen with y'all. Why y'all didn't tell me I wasn't sharing my screen? Okay, there we go. All right. So I'm going to go to the downloads here. And I think it's the slow internet connection, but there should be. There we go. You select your operating system. Mine is Windows 11. Then hit go, and it'll tell you what your drivers are for that operating system. And then I just download. You can download individual pieces, but I just go ahead and do the utilities combo package installer. So that's the one that includes some stuff that you don't want to, but I just make sure I have everything I need. Go ahead and download that. All right, and this is about to be ready to print Sublimation for the first time. or print anything for the first time. All right, let's go to our driver here. Do you want to allow this app to make changes? So say yes. Hit OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab a USB cable. I don't care what people tell y'all about wireless printing. Use a USB cable. Let me tell you why. Wireless printing, although it's a great feature to have, it will slow down how fast your printer prints. It's sending your print via a Wi-Fi signal or a Bluetooth signal, which is not going to be nearly as fast as your USB signal. All right. I'll be right back. Y'all need to get my USB cable. Wait, come here a second. Sorry, so you can put that stuff in this box right here, and we're taking it with us. All right, I'm back. Let's see, and I have to accept that. Wanted to show you the printer cable. I think my video is still on the little video, so it's not that important. Printer cable looks like this. It has a USB side, and then it has the printer cable connection side. Okay, I get these in at least 10-foot lengths. So my computer can be on one side of the room sometimes, and I still can print with this cable. I'd rather you do this than Wi-Fi. It's going to give you a better chance of printing faster. All right, so I'm going to set up the... So it looks like I may already have this one set up on this computer because it's asking me to set up the printer connection again or reinstall the software. So when I plug this in with my USB, then it should let me know whether the printer is connected. This particular printer has never even been turned on before. But like I said, I have several of these printers. So what happens is once you already have it set up once, you can kind of use multiple computers. So I have a twin setup. I use 2 of these at a time. So if one of them is printing one thing and the other one can be printing something else. I also use 2 because you never know when one's going to put you down. So I don't want that option. Let me go ahead and plug up the USB here. And then I'm going to pull this to the back of the printer. And I'll show y'all what that plugs in. Let me stop my screen share for a moment. All right, see if y'all can see me. Now, once you get this set up, you're not going to be moving this big boy like this often, okay? So once you have it set up, this should be all that you have to do for the entirety of having this printer, unless you move it around like we do pop-up events with it. All right, so I want to show you where it is, but I don't want to reposition the camera just to show that part. Plug in. Here we go. Can y'all see if I come to this side? So right above the power there's your printer cable connection. All right, so I'm going to plug that in. It only goes in one way. You can't worry about messing it up unless you can't see what you're doing. That's it. All right. Printer set up. Now I am going to kind of turn this around because this paper tray is going to come out pretty long for a 13 by 19. All right, so and I'm going to cancel that setup. So let's see if we can just go ahead and print to the C8000. I'm going to turn off everything except for the socks here. File, print. And then I'll tell you the settings for this one. So the C8000 can print regular ink just fine. I'm setting this up as a sublimation, so I'm going to go to my print settings. And then this particular one, I have to create a preset here. So it's going to be, instead of auto select, I'm going to tell it it's the paper tray, because that's where my 13 by 19 is coming from. So the Super B is the 13 by 19 page document size. Orientation is going to be portrait. Paper type is plain paper. The quality is standard. If you ever get banding and you need to go a little bit higher, it's probably because you let your print head drop a little bit, but you can usually put it on either a different paper setting that's higher or a different quality setting that's higher. But if you have to go high, that means that something is actually going wrong, because you only need plain paper and standard setting. It will print faster, and it'll still print high quality as long as you're using the True Colors ink. All right, so colors there. Now, you're going to be printing in mirror image. This is sublimation, okay? So you have to make sure that you set that up. Before I do that, let me go here to my more options. I'm going to go to custom for the color correction. Go to advanced and tell it no color adjustment. I don't want the printer adjusting my colors. I want Photoshop to adjust my colors. So I'm doing that. See right here where it says mirror image? I can check that mark. And then I'm going to save this. So I'm going to go add and remove settings. I'm going to call this True Colors. This is my 13 by 19. And then I have to hit save and close. And now I can use that True Colors 13 by 19. And we're good to go. So Photoshop is going to manage the colors here. That's why I turned off color management in the print settings. You can keep it here at Epson Inkjet Print 07, but I also have some True Colors. If you go by the 16650 one, that sometimes will further adjust your colors. But I'm going to print with the Epson Inkjet 07, see if it gives me good results, because this one is already on my system. All right, and the rendering intent, I always use relative colorimetric. Haven't found any problem with that. No, I don't even need to look at the rest of this stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and hit print, see if it talks to the printer. Because like I said, this was set up for another type of printer. It says it is offline, so let me double check. Let me make sure I'm on the right printer, because I may need to still install it. I'm going to remove this printer, and then I'm going to set up a new one. Oh, I think I know what it is. It's plugged into my laptop power and not into my USB. Hold on just a second. I got to get a USB splitter. I need it to move. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with the splitter. Put that in. All right, and I just removed the printer, so then that means that I am going to go ahead and install it. But while you're installing the printer, don't have it plugged in. Don't have the, you can have the printer plugged in, but don't have the USB plugged in until it asks you for that. All right. And I guess I can share my screen on this part. So you all, my connection here on the computer, on the laptop is kicking me off. So hopefully you will be able to see my screen share. Share screen, and let's see, let's pray this works. Because I want to show y'all what I uncheck. I don't let it install everything because you don't need all of that. But if it's not going to let me screen share, I'm going to talk you through it. And I'll just have to record this at a different time where the internet connection is not so fickle. All right, loves, let me know if you all can even still hear me because I think this thing is freezing up. Say in the chat if you can hear me. Where do I get the USB cords? Amazon. Epson will never. I haven't bought a printer in the past 10 years that come with the printer cable. Don't ask me why. So I buy the printer cable from Amazon, and like I said, I get at least a 10-foot section. I have some that are 20 feet, but the longer you get it, the less speed the data can travel. Okay, you can't hear me? Okay, so it's not doing the screen share right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and run through it. I'm taking off the Epson Smart Scan. I'm taking off the user guide for Epson. I don't need all that extra stuff weighing my computer down. I'm gonna go ahead and install the rest. And it really doesn't take that long for it to update if you have a good connection, because it is going to be installing from the internet. It'll ask you if you want to register it. You don't have to register it. That is, but if you have a warranty, I would suggest that you register it. Okay. It's not necessary, but it is helpful. Hey, Blake, can you help me turn the music off? It's in the background of the video. Can you help me turn the music off? It's in the background of the video.
They trying to set up. He assembling stuff. That's what it is.
What you said?
I'm saying Nate working so he can turn the music.
Well, I'm almost done. I'm doing this for fun. All right. So this is almost complete, y'all. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to test press to make sure that everything is good. While this is going on, you can also do a test print. Now, the reason why I was telling y'all I use the 8.5 by 11 paper at the bottom is because I do not use sublimation paper to test print. But for today, we'll just have to do that. Oh, no, I can use regular paper. I think I have... No, I don't remember where it is. We're just going to use some sublimation paper right now. So let's go to our settings. We don't need to set up the fax wizard. Nope, don't remind me later. So you have some maintenance settings here. I know people don't like when I say maintenance, but that's how I say maintenance. Click on the maintenance there, and then I'm going to do a print head nozzle check. Then I'm going to hit start. And it's going to be looking for A4 paper down here. So let me go grab some. And then that way you're not wasting up your sublimation paper. But it's always going to look for plain paper. But I haven't told it I have plain paper anywhere. So when it realizes it doesn't have plain paper, it will typically ask me, or it will just print out of wherever it does have paper, which means it's going to print on my big old nice 13 by 19 sublimation paper. Okay, so it's probably gonna print on my big old paper. That's why the tray came out. All right. And like I said, I'm doing a nozzle check just to make sure that all of the ink colors are flowing through the print nozzle. This is the very first time this printer has ever been set up. Okay. And I have a little bit of nozzle issue right here in the C and the Y. I'm going to go ahead and tell it no, it didn't turn out right. So I'm going to hit the X. And it's going to say this is going to clean the print head. Touch to start. And I'm going to go ahead and tell it to start. And let that go ahead and take place. What it's doing right now is a print head cleaning. It's going to pull, it's going to draw a little bit of ink through the print head. And I will say a little bit of ink, but it's the equivalent of basically pushing maybe about 10, sometimes even 20 prints through your printer. So it's not just a little tiny bit of ink. So you don't want to do print head cleanings back to back, and you don't want to do them often. If you're doing print head cleanings often, it's because you're not using your printer enough, and that's another issue. That means you need to go online and start selling your stuff. Okay, make sure your printer stays active. All right, so we're letting that happen there. I'm gonna remove the screen share because it won't happen anyway. All right, so I just hit the next couple of buttons on the setup. It was just asking me, hey, did you already install your ink? And I said yes, because it does not want you to connect your printer until your ink has been set up and it's been initialized. So it's doing a print head cleaner. It's going to take about 2 minutes. And then on the setup right now on the computer, it's asking me for the connection type. Remember, I'm going to do a direct USB connection. Then I'm hitting next. And it will find your printer for the USB. Once it finds it, it'll give you a green check mark, and then I'll ask if you want to print a test page. I'm going to hit print a test page in just a moment, but I'm going to make sure that the print head is finished cleaning. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go grab some 8.5 by 11 paper because I don't want to use my big old 13 by 19 paper for test prints. Okay, I'll be right back, and then this should be done in just a moment. All right, y'all. I'm going to put some paper down here at the bottom tray, tray number 2. Let's pull that out here. Angle it down so I can see a little bit better. All right, I'll remove this piece here while I insert the paper. You pull this all the way out. This goes all the way down, all the way out. And if you need to make the tray 11 by 17 size, it goes even bigger. But for 8.5 by 11, you don't need to extend the bottom at all. And put the paper inside here. Push the blue side, not the gray side. The blue side is adjustable until you barely touch the edge of the paper. Same thing here. I'm going to pinch this piece and push it up until I touch the paper. Go ahead and put this back on. It's like a dust protector. Close it up. And now we will I'm going to go ahead and tell it that in tray 2 that's the paper that's there. Matter of fact, if I open it, close it, the paper size here is going to be letter size paper, plain paper. Close it out. Now I'm going to print a test page here. And see how the tray automatically pops out? Because y'all know the older printers, when it used to start printing, just spit your paper out and just spit it all over the floor if you didn't manually pull out the tray. This one will automatically have the tray come out. All right. See how fast this baby prints? Y'all can't tell me, like, you talking about party favors, or y'all be printing all of them things full color, edge to edge, all that time that it takes to print each of those, this thing will spit it out like it's nothing. All right, so let me show you how fast it'll print this sock if we're ready. And it looks like color came through well, but let's go ahead and do a little nozzle test. So we're gonna go to maintenance, then go to print head nozzle check, hit start. Oh shoot, it's still taking my 13 by 19 paper because I forgot to tell it to change the paper. All right. And I don't think I like this text print paper. It is a little bulkier. And you just grab 2 sheets of paper instead of 1. The paper I typically use, I don't have that issue. All right, so it's also scraping against my print head somewhere because I got a little bit of black ink there. So if I were to print this, I would cut that out, but that should not be happening. But you see my nozzle check here. Now all of my nozzles are clear and we're ready to print. I'm gonna see if it's probably this paper that is causing that issue there, because what's happening is that paper's kicking up and it's touching on my print heads. So I don't have an alternative paper here, but already I don't like this text print. I'm gonna flip the paper over. So the paper that I use my brand paper, and then I also, like I said, I've used a sub, and I want to try out the HTV Romp paper, but I don't like this one. Believe it or not, this used to be the only one that I would use. That was about 8 years ago. All right, let's try that. Let's print out this sock print, y'all. We're gonna go File, Print. And y'all, I can't share the screen, so at least y'all can still hear me. I'm gonna go to the ST-C8000. I already have my print settings set up from earlier. And then let me hit print. Now, if you're doing socks, you're gonna have to print 2 because you have a left and a right. Well, you know, ideally. All right. Now, I've never printed from this printer, from this computer before, so let's make sure the connection is good. All right, so saying the paper size and type and the setting does not match the specified setting. So let me make sure I told it to go Super B, hit print. Oh no, this thing is going in crazy. Don't do it, buddy. Don't you do it. I think this paper, this manufacturer, this paper dimensions is a little bit off. Because I've never had this issue before with any other paper. And this is the more expensive paper. So I called myself buying the more expensive paper because I wanted to show the premium product, but this is not, this paper is not cut exactly like it should, because I can feel it kind of buckling back here. Let's go. Hold on, YouTube. Y'all check this out real quick. Look, Nate just made a cutout, life-size, actually over life-size cutout of the project that we worked on this week. That's beautiful, Nate. Love it. All right, so listen. Nate finna get that room decked out, y'all. All right, so let me see what's going on with this paper, y'all, because I don't want to manually trim it, but I can feel that it's not setting in here good. It's like a tiny bit too wide, and it's hitting the side over here. That's not good. And I'm at my maximum width here. So let me just go on record as saying I don't recommend this paper. 10 out of, I would say 0 out of 10, not recommended. I don't deal with hassle, y'all. I don't care how cheap it is. If it takes me more time to do it, I don't want it. That's where I am in my life. So the fact that this is even taking up time on this experiment here, I'm not gonna go with that. All right, so let's try it one more time. I don't want to have to babysit this paper, but it looks like I'm gonna have to. All right, so let's hit paper out. So we're gonna go to the information button. It says you can go. The proper procedures, check the how-to remove paper, then hit OK. So it's telling me how to remove the paper. I already removed it because I saw it going in crooked and I removed it. So it's telling you to check the back of the printer here and install the rear unit. There is a paper area back here. I'm going to open it, close it, just so it thinks I did it. But I pulled the paper out. Close that. Hit OK. Let's see if we can recover my job, y'all. Yeah, it's not doing well with this paper at all. With this whole pack of paper, I would have to trim like a small millimeter off the side of this paper for it to work right. And it's not working right. And that is not the printer's fault at all. That is the paper's fault. This batch of paper must be a bad batch cut incorrectly. Because just that little tiny difference is causing it to bunch up in my thing here. So let me see if I can go to plan B and use my roll paper. So I got to get this done, y'all. I got to get this set up. So I have roll media. I'm going to go ahead and just cut off a piece of roll media and see if that works better. Give me just a second, y'all. God, I'm talking about, give me a second. Y'all can see what I'm doing. Ideally, I would have this set up on like a guillotine press or guillotine cutter, and I would just slice it like that. But look, so we're running into these live problems. And see, that paper is just a tiny bit wider. So this is just a bad batch of paper, y'all. And maybe that's not a bad representation of this company. I'm sure I could call Beaver. Beaver is one of the, I think it is the #1 paper supplier. This just happens to be a bad batch that I got on YouTube. Y'all watch them try to make it right and send me some free paper. All right. I'm just cutting off the roll media here. Now this roll media is, I forget which brand it is, but it's not Beaver. You see the front of this paper is bright white, and then the back of it is like a little bit yellowish white. That's how I know the front from the back. And then because this paper was touching on stuff, I'm not going to use this first set. I'm going to cut off some fresh paper. Because if dust settled on it or anything like that, it gets inside of your printer. It seems like a tiny issue. But when you have dust inside of your printer, you're risking, just to save a little bit of paper, you're risking your whole printer, and it's not worth it. All right, so I'm going to take my 13 by 19 page and just estimate this little length here. Let's cut that off. Don't be sleepy on me. All right. So let's try that out, y'all. Can y'all see? All right. So now when I put this in, other thing is when you're cutting your own paper, you have the likelihood of not cutting it straight. So I did roughly use the edge of the other paper. This is going in easier, but because it's roll media tends to already be rolled up, so it tends to bunch. So you may have to kind of guide it with just not your actual fingertips because they have oils on your fingers, but I use the back of my nails if I need to just hold it down a little bit while it accepts it. So let's go ahead and go through this one. Close that out. It still thinks there's a paper jam, so I'm gonna have to Open it and close it again. All of this. But you know what? I'm not mad at this for happening, because if I had a flawless install, then when you ran into problems, you'd be like, well, what did I do? How did I mess up? And maybe you would have never seen that. I could tell that paper was off by how it was sitting in there. I put too much paper in the printer to not understand that there's something wrong. So I would have never guessed if I was a beginner, I would have never guessed my paper was bad or my paper was off by a little sliver of a millimeter. Okay, so that's my. Oh, wait a minute. Did y'all even see how fast that printed? Did y'all see that? Because it went and it was done. That's why I messed with this printer and not some of those slower ones that only print like 6 to 8 pages per minute. This prints 25 color pages per minute. So it's going to be 3 times faster than your typical printer you get off the shelf. All right, so I'm not going to use this paper anymore. That was a bad batch. Like I said, I've used the paper before several times. This just happened to be a bad batch. All right, so we got the sock print there. Move some stuff out of the way so we can get the pressing. Now, what I can use that paper for is for cover paper, because I don't have any. So that's about all it's good for. Sublimation paper is about 50 cents per sheet, right? So I'm wasting a 50-cent sheet specialty paper as cover paper because it's no good to me right now. All right, so let me go ahead and get this set up for pressing so we can test it out. And once I test it out, we have a working sublimation setup, y'all. Any questions before I move on? I don't like the tacky paper for most of these household printers. I have tacky paper. I have a big printer that I only use tacky paper in pretty much. That's how I do my all over big boy shirts. But for these desktop printers, I don't recommend you putting tacky paper in them because sometimes it's not really meant for that. And there's a residue on some of the tacky paper that your print heads may not be able to handle. Okay. All right, so hopefully you all can see this setup over here. Let me move the roll media that saved the day. Thank you, roll media. All right, and then I'll go ahead and grab a sock from over here. Now I'll teach you my little taco method. Now let me see what y'all can see. Not that. Go ahead and let y'all see down. There we go. All right, so for the taco method, I'm going to hold up my print to the light so I can tell where the edge of my print is. Top and bottom. Now there's a little window right here, but I can see through the paper and tell. I'm going to pinch it at the top. The same thing. Line it up. Pinch it there. And then I'm just going to create a crease. Okay. That is my taco. And I take my sock. The taco is your filling. I would say meat, but some of us are not meat eaters. So this is your stuffing inside of your taco. You're going to place it inside of the crease here. And then depending on how long your sock is, if you have a long sock, it'll go all the way to the bottom. We don't have a long sock, so this is going to work out to where we place it to the top here. And typically I have some masking tape. I don't even use the blue painter's tape, but the masking tape is good. Let me see, Blake, do you have any painter's tape or masking tape anywhere close by? I know we have a double-sided tape. Maybe Nick probably has some out. Look, like it's somewhere there. I think that's blue tape right there because they use it on the signs. On the second laminator to the end. You see it? Is that blue tape? Okay. So Blake's gonna go get us a little blue tape. You don't even need the expensive blue tape. You just need regular old schmeglo masking tape. But what's gonna happen is I'm gonna show you my little taco method here. Thank you. Make sure you all can see. All right, so I typically will just rip it just a little bit. You could use scissors, but it's just a fast method. So I'm ripping it. I don't rip into the sock area. I rip right up to the sock area. Of course, the meat in my taco is pressed all the way into the crease here. And this is how it's going to give us that beautiful side of the sock. So I'm going to take this down. And usually your masking tape is not going to be too heat sensitive where it's going to do anything. Now, once I get that side that way, typically I will fold the other side the other way, and that's just kind of just to lock it in place. It's really not necessary. I could probably just press this just like this. As a matter of fact, I'll show y'all that. I'll press it just like this. And all that's meant to do is stop using all that spray adhesive stuff. Y'all, I use spray adhesive when I need to, but whenever I do socks, because I use a taco method, I do not have to use all that spray adhesive, get that stuff all in my nostrils. Y'all have all them sticky boogers and stuff. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you got sticky boogers, you know good and well that spray adhesive should not even be in your respiratory system like that. But we be thugging it out, okay? So I'm going to use this expensive text print paper as my cover paper. Just fold it in half. And this is just so that any ink that may seep out is not going to get into my heat press. I have never tested this heat press for pressure either. So I'm going to do that right now with a blank sock. Because I want to make sure my pressure is good too. And I'll just take this cover paper, so just in case this press has not been used in a long time, maybe some years. So I don't want to get anything that's old or new pressed into my substrate. So I'm going to move y'all a little further over. We're going to test this pressure right now. Are we going to test the pressure? Are you going to let me be great? Hold on, I'm trying to adjust so you all can see a little bit better. There you go. I think y'all can see that pretty good. All right. So just testing the pressure. Pull down on the handle. Can I close it? Oh, even if I could, that's too much. Sublimation on fabric does not require heavy pressure. Sometimes you need heavy pressure for your metals, some of your hard substrates. Okay, I heard that click. That's how I know it's down. So this is decent. But it's too much pressure because I had to do all of that to open it. And it depends on the quality of your heat press and all of that good stuff too. But that went down. It wasn't so hard to let up. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit more. Try it again. So this is why I say you have to test your press. You got to know your settings for your press. Okay. All right. So that one was good enough. We're going to go ahead and sublimate. Get it in. Inside the press here, I have my cover paper, my socks in there, plenty of paper covering it up. Now, normally I would put, let me just go ahead and press this one. Because normally I put 2 tacos on the press, 2 socks on the grill at a time. And then what I do is I flip them. And because they're inside of their own tacos, I don't have to worry about which one is the front, which one is the back. Did I flip them the right way? Any of that? It just does what it needs to do. All right, so that is going for, I believe, 50 seconds. So we're testing this out. We have never tested sublimation on this press, so welcome to my test room. All right, and then at the same time, I could go ahead and, well, we're not going to print the second sock. This is just going to be a sample sock. So I only need to press one of them. And this is going in the showroom. All right. Now we have to press both sides of the sock. So you see I got a nice little heat line around there. I'm just going to flip it now. My taco's good. It's secure and in place without any spray adhesive. If you flip it without doing the taco method and without adhesive, I guarantee you when you flip it, it's probably going to shift your design. If it shifts your design, then you have ghosting, or you have places where the print looks like it doubled. We call that ghosting because your print has shifted, it got heated. Yep, Ernie, that's what we're going to tell everybody. The dryer ate the other side. All right, so that's good. And if y'all want me to go back and do some more OG sublimation, because y'all know this is how it started off, showing y'all, Photoshop from scratch and sublimation. If you all want me to go back to doing this kind of content, let me know. All right. Open that up. Now, the beautiful thing about Taco Method, we're about to test it in just a moment. Here, I'm going to pull it over here so you all can see it better. And I can get from under this heat. All right, so let's open it up. That's just the cover paper. I'm just going to remove that little tape there. Be careful. This is hot, but, I've been doing this for a while. All right. Looks like I probably could use a little more time on this because my print is not as, it's beautiful, but my print is not as vibrant as I would want it to be. I definitely would have wanted to press that maybe a little bit longer, or use my paper that I like using, which has a resin back to it, and it has a better release of ink. But that's it, y'all. That's the sock. And another thing I would have told y'all to do is to remove the smile line, because sometimes you have graphics that go straight across. So if you before you press this, if you prepare the sock by basically removing the little happy face here, I call that the little smile line. If I make it straight like I did just now, the image will press straighter. But this is beautiful. Hey, Nate, come check this out. So that matches the design that Nate just cut out of the cutout. I got a hot potato. You ready to catch? Literally, it's hot. You just let it hit the potato, hit the ground. I didn't know. That's sublimation, baby.
Let my skin burn.
Listen, it wasn't even that hot, y'all. He's trying to show out on his live. The only insurance I got is your fault. What y'all call it? Your fault insurance. You like it? So I'll come back when I come back for the workshop, and we'll do some sublimation items. Okay. But you'll have these to match the stuff in the showroom. Yep. All right. Okay. So now, y'all, I found out that I got sublimation working. I'm gonna have my brother break down my computer. So Blake, if you could break down my computer, I can take them around the room and show them the other stuff. Oh Lord, did y'all, was that fun? Did y'all like that? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so we broke down a lot of the stuff in the room, but I wanted to show you what we did. I'm gonna give you a rundown. Now, this is what we're going to be doing for the hands-on workshop. We're doing a sublimation hands-on workshop. It might be a little loud, y'all, but let me just get back up. Y'all see these beautiful flowers in here? All right. Y'all still with me? Can y'all still hear? All right. Okay. So this is an accordion wall. And I'm going to show you how it works. Give me just a moment. One person can carry this 8-foot tall by 12-foot wide display. Do you see this? I'm going to teach y'all how to make these hands-on. Me and Lynn and Hotly in the Science, okay? So this is I'm going to set it up, y'all, so I can show you what it does. I just installed a 8-foot tall by 12-foot wide display in just seconds. Okay. Your customers, your clients are gonna love this. Now let me show y'all something. See how it reads from this side? Dun, 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 dun. Look at that, y'all. And then I'm gonna take you over here and show you what it looks like from this side. So it's, imagine this for like graduation. You got your graduation photos on one side. And then when you come straight onto it, it looks like a dual image. So it's like split in the middle, right? So maybe your message is, congratulations, graduate, first name, last name. Come over here, and you just do the text. Is that cool or what? It's definitely not what. All right, so that's one product that we're gonna make together. Like I said, the hands-on workshop is in Atlanta, December 7th and 8th. If y'all show up and show out, I might start doing more hands-on workshops. We'll see how y'all act, okay? These are cubes. Remember I showed you all the cubes demo? So 4 sides here and a top. Here you have it. All right, and these are stackable. So we have 1 cube, 2 cubes, 3 cubes is a 6 foot. 1 more cube will be an 8 foot. There's 1 more cube down there on the floor. We took down all the balloons and we did a big archway. Y'all, that archway is sitting on the floor right now. That's a beautiful big old archway. I'll show you some of the other products that we'll be making, the cutouts. Okay, so this one's like the foam finger cutout. This is template number 270, right, with the print K. 2K25. This is Hotlanta Suns locker room, right? We did that last week in class, template number 292. Did y'all see this photo booth here? This is Jakeem's business here. He does the rinse out the 360 photo booths, but he's also a designer and a photographer. Do y'all think he can't freak this design out and use it as a 360 booth? Even well, this is a standard photo booth, but he also has a 360. So imagine that 360 spinning around and you got graphics everywhere. All right, so just showing y'all that setup. Graphics on the podium. You see how everything just flows together? We broke down a lot of stuff too, but before I did a complete breakdown, I just wanted to show y'all this stuff in real life, that the things that y'all are learning in Photoshop are not in vain. You all are absolutely learning a high level skill that you can work with your local print shops as well and get some type of agreement going on. If they don't know how to design and they know how to print and you know how to design and you don't have a printer, you can do that too. We're going to show you how Lynn's going to offer special pricing if you're certified in our program. Yeah, we'll just leave it here. You can leave that too. No, that one, we're taking that. No, leave that, because I don't know if we're turning that to a second sublimation printer or a pigment printer. So we'll leave the ink and the printer. Okay. And then I'll be doing some sublimation workshops here at the shop too. But like I said, you all know how to design, but you may not have a big printer. Guess what? Lynn's going to work out a special with you all because you're in my community and because you're going to be certified through me, because you're certified to print or to design for large format graphics, and she won't have to go into y'all graphic files and fix them. She's willing to offer us special pricing because we have print ready graphics, okay? So just giving y'all that announcement. I have to wrap up, y'all. I had so much fun. Y'all look at what Chris did with the flowers. I'm gonna show y'all that real quick. I don't think y'all got to see it, those who weren't here in the beginning. Look at these gorgeous flowers. So Chris is gonna come in and to the academy and teach us about florals, and we're going to do a whole memorial hands-on setup, a 3-day transformation, not transformation, I'm sorry, a 3-day workshop. I was thinking of something of Kim's got her transformation workshop coming up, but we're going to do a 3-day workshop where we're hands-on creating the graphics, applying them, for a real job, or even if it's just a sample job, we're going to be able to create a room like this. Okay. All right. I'll be telling y'all how to get your certification. I got y'all. It's coming together. Okay. Yes, Tamara, I will be showing you all how to do the accordion wall. Absolutely. Craft to Quit. You all are the first group, because that's my I know my top tier group. Y'all are already ready. So I'm going to be testing out some of the templates, showing you all how to do these large format graphics, these event graphics. If you're ready to sign up for the workshop, all you have to do is comment the word pro on the Instagram post or the Facebook post. Comment the word pro and it'll send you the link, okay? I got to tap out, y'all. I had so much fun. Let me get in front of the camera so I can tell you all how much I love you and I appreciate you dearly. Until next time, bye.